situation, as Diamond also has shared, some of the situations was life-threatening, but her life was spared. It's something that always brings God's children back to Him, okay? It says that this basically echoes the activity that was going on with Deborah. Deborah was a judge that sat under a palm tree. And she basically heard a lot of cases from the Israelite people. And she brought those cases to Christ. Which means Deborah herself, even though she was one of the most godly judges, she did not have all the answers. She had to still sit under a palm tree, hear the cases, and take those cases to Christ to get the answer. So what I'm saying is, we don't have all the answers. We can be godly, we can be righteous, we can be living holy, but we don't have all the answers. We have to always go to Christ as a disciple, as a student, and we have to sit in His Word, study His Word. That's why it says meditate on it day and night, so that we will have the answers. And it says, as you meditate on the Word day and night, then you will have great success. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are, how wise you are, or what skill set you have. If it's not directed and instructed by God, then you can easily veer off course. You can easily go off path. Now, thank God that we serve such a forgiving God, a merciful God, a loving God, that He's always going to bring us back to Him, right? He's never going to let us go so far where we're not reachable. He's always going to reach us and bring us back and put us on track, just like He did that with the judges. When we go to verse 3, it says, after him arose Jair the Gileadite, who judged Israel 22 years. And he had 30 sons who rode on 30 donkeys. And they had 30 cities, called Havoth, Jair to this day, which are in the land of Gilgad. And Jair died and was buried in Canaan. So when we see this with Jair, even though he was the 7th judge, the 3rd minor judge, and he judged for 22 years, he was wealthy. He had 30 sons with 30 donkeys. Remember, livestock and wealth was determined. That's how your wealth was determined, by the accumulation of the things that you had. So this was a very wealthy man, okay? It said that he lived in the Transjordan, which is the same area that the next judge would have lived in. So his 30 sons form a contrast between the previous judge that was childless. This judge was very wealthy. He had 30 sons, and previous judges did not have wealth. You know, sometimes a woman's wealth or a woman's worth was determined by her being able to bear a child, okay? So when you have children, it considers that you are very blessed. But imagine raising children up in the way that they should go, and they depart from everything that you have instilled in the sight of them. Departing from God, and walking away from God, it's very scary, because at any time, you don't know when death is approaching. You don't know the time or day nor the hour. So to be able to have another day among the living is a blessing. It's another day for you to get it right. I'm going to say that again. To have another day among the land of the living is another opportunity for us to get our lives together with God. Not with people, but with God. Because it says, the moment that you seek to please man, M-A-N, the moment that you seek to please people, you have lost sight of the gospel. Because it's not about people pleasing. There is nothing that we can do on this earth to please the common man. Nothing. There's always going to be fault finders, you know. No matter how pure your intentions may be, there's always going to be a fault finder. And so we can feel overwhelmed by trying to please people. We may never feel a sense of accomplishment. And pleasing people, you gain nothing but misery and heartache and pain. But pleasing God, you gain eternal life. You gain peace. Peace that the word says